Okay, so yeah, close your eyes, check in, make yourself comfortable, all the things that you need to do to start your practice. So my other lessons this week, I've been looking at they're called the Seven Mothers. They're goddesses, which are the female energy equivalent and the creative energy equivalent of like lots of different male Hindu gods. And in the last few weeks, we've looked at ones in the other lessons dealing with how we deal with shame, illusion, our ego, and this one is to do with this one. She's called Brahmari, the one we've looked at this week, and she deals with lust and attachment, which sounds really raunchy, but it's not. And it's just this idea that if we act in an attached manner or like a lustful manner, it affects your mind. You know, you're not thinking rationally. You know, it can affect your relationships with people. It can make you insecure, and so the way you overcome it is to try to come from a place of healing and love with your work, and you know, the way you deal with people. You know, look at people with more compassionate eyes, and so from that we can have happier relationships. And so applying this to our movement, I think these lessons really do adhere to that, don't they? You know, you're never pushing into pain, you're trying your best to listen to what's happening in the body. Really good sense of, you know, awareness and inner listening and intuition. So as we're practicing, again, we're not going to push, we're not going to go to our full range of root movement. Go softly, notice when tension's creeping in, ask yourself, can I be kinder to myself as I'm moving? So with soft eyes, you know, imagine just shining a little spotlight on the body. Maybe noticing the back of the skull. Taking your awareness down through the neck. Down through the shoulders. Down through the arms. Down through the lower back and the hips. Notice how the thighs rest. Noticing the shins. Noticing the heels. Noticing the toes. Get a sense of the floor behind you and how it supports you. And as you breathe in, maybe notice how the body changes its shape on the floor. So when you breathe in, how do we feel? And within this practice, again, we just want to make sure that as we breathe in, we're doing it, you know, in the easiest, happiest method. We don't push. Just take all the time you need to breathe. So from the place you're in, sliding your feet in, just so you can stand them up in line with your hips. And then let's move from the feet, shall we, today? Keep your feet still, but pull your heels towards your hips and allow that lower back just begin to float off the floor. feeling the weight going into the tailbone, and then relax it and just think about resting your lower back into the floor. Just let it feel that little bit heavier into the floor. And again, that gentle roll towards the tailbone and feeling the heels pulling in. And again, that gentle pushing forwards kind of action through the feet, and just let your lower back rest deeper into the floor, and doing that again. So just starting with that arch and flatten. We can bring, notice a few things as we're doing this. We could notice maybe the bones. We can notice the weight of the tailbone. We can notice that as the pelvis tilts forwards, that lower back arches. And as the lower back arches, the back of the neck flattens. And as we rest the lower back into the floor, you might even feel the back of the neck kind of arch. Take your time to roll through those places. But we can also think about the muscles that are working. So with somatics, there's a lot of emphasis on muscles. Notice as you bring that tailbone towards the floor, that gentle pull of the heel, that there's a tightening of those muscles at the back. That is what's arching the back. And as you let the lower back rest into the floor, these muscles are releasing. And noticing as you roll the tailbone into the floor and the lower back arches, the front of the body opens out, and we release the tension through the tummy and the ribs. And as we rest the lower back into the floor, there's actually a tightening of those muscles of the tummy. We've got a little yin-yang sensation of movement. Just notice, feel, maybe notice the bones, maybe notice the muscles. And then let go, just let everything soften. Bringing your hands behind your head, interlace your fingers and let your elbows drop out towards the floor. I'll turn this up this way, there you go. Get your feet with the mat. There you go, on the camera, well done me. And all we're going to do from this place is, again, lean your tailbone into the floor, pull the heels towards the bottom a little bit, and then push the feet down and forwards, let the lower back round, and if it's comfortable, bring the elbows together and lift the head and look down towards your tummy. And then uncurl, bringing your head back to the floor, let your elbows drop out, and pull those heels towards the bottom, lower back begins to float up. And again, taking the lower back into the floor, pressing the heels forwards, bringing the head, elbows towards each other, curling up, feel the tummy tighten. And again, take your time to slowly release, to unpick, bring the head to the floor, elbows drop wide, pull the heels again towards the bottom, feeling the lower back float up off the floor. And then again, pushing down and forwards with the feet, let the lower back sink into the floor, and again, float the head up, bring the elbows together, so the hands supporting the head. And just do just a couple more of these, arching and curling, bringing the tailbone towards the floor, yawning out through the tummy. And again, exhaling, curling up. Inhaling, releasing down. And then let your elbows rest into the floor and keep yourself in this position just for a second. Keep rolling your tailbone forwards and into the floor. And all we're going to do now is just press the elbows back a little bit more. You'll feel the backs of the shoulders kind of tightening. And then just notice the sensations. Keep those elbows pressing back. Notice the neck tightens, and then all we're going to do now is just let everything soften. Just feel the ribs settling into the floor. Let the lower back soften. And we're just going to do that again a couple more times, pressing the elbows back towards the floor. Roll the tailbone gently forwards. Feel the sensation through the backs of the shoulders, through the chest, the back of the neck. And then again, relax, let everything soften into the floor. Just let the pelvis soften, let the belly soften. Take a really good rest, and then we'll do that again just one more time. Pressing the elbows back, rolling the tailbone forwards. Hold and feel, and then we'll let go. Let's just bring our head onto the floor, let your arms rest down by your side, and again slide your feet forward towards the space in front of you. So bring your feet together now, and we're going to just do something. We did it a few weeks ago, actually. We're not going to go into the full movement, but we're going to go to part of the movement. So you've got your heels together, toes pointed to the ceiling, like almost like imagine if you were standing in a in a parade or something like that. You'd have your feet together, really kind of feel the tension through the legs. And then all I want you just to do is just notice your right heel, and you're just going to push your right heel out to the side and just let your left. Oh, can you see my feet at all? Where are my feet? There. So pushing your right heel out to the side. You're going to feel your right big toe slide down your left inner arch, and then slide that foot back. And then you're pushing the right heel away, and again push the foot back. So just notice as you do that internal rotation in your right thigh. So you're going to always keep that foot touching the other foot. So don't let it slide all the way out. Let your right big toe slide down your left inner arch, and again bring it back. Just do that a few times. And muscularly, what you're feeling. For me, I'm feeling there's some work going into that right hip. I can feel the glute medius doing something. There's actually some work in the back of the hip as well, the piriformis doing some work. And then we're going to just relax that right leg. Just maybe let the toes flop out, let everything go. See if I can turn my feet so you can actually see them a bit better and closer to the camera. Well done, Lee. Ah. And then we'll do the same with the left, so pushing your left foot away, the left heel, and again let the foot slide down. So keeping that left big toe sliding up and down the right shin. Again, notice what you feel, particularly into the left hip joint. Funny as well, I feel this left knee wants to bend more than the right knee. It's very odd what you pick up on, isn't it? And then relax the legs. And then, like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, push both heels away and then click the heels together. Push both heels away, click the heels together. And keeping my big toes touching this time. And then let everything go. Circle your ankles this time. So keep the feet just relaxed, circle your ankles, feel your toes going on a little dance. And then relax your feet. And just have your toes again, just pointing towards the ceiling. And imagine you're going to do onto tiptoes, push down with your toes, and then push your heels away from you. Push down with your toes, and then push your heels away. So you're drawing those toes all the way up, feeling how your lower back flattens into the floor. Pushing down with your toes, you might feel your tailbone rolling forward and your spine arching. And then as you push your heels away and you draw the toes up again, feel how the back starts to want to flatten into the floor. And just do that a few times. And how your knees bend as well. So as you push those heels away, my knees want to bend. And I hope you're kind of feeling that as well. Do you feel your spine being pulled through the body and your head nodding as well as you're practicing this? So just feel as you push down with the toes, the chin comes in. As you push the heels away, the chin lifts and the back flattens. And then when you're ready, just let everything go. And just check in on your imprint on the floor. So we're going to do something really beautiful for the hips. It's called the swimming frog leg. It's a really horrible name. I think it should have a nicer name than this. So what we're going to do now is just step out your feet so they're kind of a little bit wide, I would say slightly wider than hips. So don't go, you know, crazy wide, but a little bit wide. This is a really weird angle to teach at. And then turn your right big toe into the floor. So you're rotating that foot inwards, and again, just relax it. And again, turn the right foot inwards towards the floor, and again, relax it. Kind of what we've just been doing before, but a little bit deeper. And let your knee roll in. Notice your knee bending. Follow the movement all the way into that joint of that right side. What is it doing? Do you feel that movement in the right hip? You might even feel your right hip kind of floated up a little bit. Mine doesn't stay connected, it lifts just a little bit, and just you're rolling that foot in towards the floor, feeling the knee rotating. And then just see how it feels, just to let that movement go, so let the movement go. And we're going to just do something again with that right leg. So turn the foot inwards, and then sliding your right, we're going to turn that right foot outwards. So press this time the right little toe towards the floor. So roll the other way. So you're going from turning the knee inwards to rolling the foot all the way outwards. Turning the knee inwards and the foot inwards to rolling the foot outwards. And as you're bringing that little toe side of the foot to the floor, I feel like a little bit of a tug at the heel, like I could start to bring that heel up to my groin. So you roll the little toe outwards, feel the knee bend. Start to feel that knee bend, slide the heel up towards your groin. So knee goes out, and just notice how it is for that knee to drop out. Notice the gap between your knee and the floor maybe. And then slide the foot away, just relax that leg from the center. And then do it again, rolling that little toe towards the floor, feeling the knee turn out. And again, for me, there's a willingness, that foot wants to slide up. So start to slide the right heel up towards the groin, stopping where it feels good. And again, gently push the foot away. Let the leg relax at the end of the movement, let everything go. And then do it again, turning the little toe towards the floor, sliding the heel up. And again, when you're ready, slide the foot back. And again, pause, let everything go. And then we're going to go the other way. So turn then the right big toe inwards, feel the knee slide. And if you just look towards your right hip, I want you to this time take that right heel wide towards your right hip. So your right knee rolls in towards the floor. So try not to let it cross the other leg. So it's dropping into that space where the leg was. And again, you're not pushing into a really deep movement. Let it come to a natural conclusion, and then slowly slide the leg out. And again, relax it. Just let everything go at the end of the movement. So again, you turn the right big toe in, slide the knee out towards, maybe even towards your right arm, towards your right hand. Turning your head, maybe look towards your right foot, towards your right hand, and then again slide the foot away. I keep folding my arms just so I can keep an eye on what you're all doing. But your head should be on the floor. And then so you turn the right big toe in, slide the knee wide. Your right hip, it's probably floating up off the floor. Let it happen. Your left side's on the floor. Look at your right heel. It's like you're trying to see the sole of your right foot maybe. And again, when you're ready, slide the foot out, turn your head, and again, settle into the floor. Just take a really good breath. So from here, we're going to turn the right little toe to the floor, feel the knee bend, slide the foot up. And then again, relax the foot, straighten the leg, and then this time turn the foot inwards. Sliding the right foot out towards the right hip, towards the right hand. Again, have a look at it. And then slide the right foot out in front of you. And again, relax the leg, let go of everything. Turning the right heel in, bringing in the right little toe towards the floor. Slide the right heel into the groin, knee floats up. And again, slide the foot out in front of you, and then turn the big toe in. Feel the knee turn in, slide the foot out. Turning your head to look towards the right foot. Just notice now your right knee, where is it? I think it's a little bit closer to the floor maybe. And then unwind, straighten the leg and pause. Just let everything go on that right side. Checking on your right hip, your right leg, how everything feels. And then let's start on the opposite side. So again, bringing the big toe in, your left big toe to the floor, notice the knee. I'm saying bring it to the floor, it might not reach the floor, but that's the direction of travel, and then relax. And then the direction of travel is to rotate that left big toe inwards, feel the knee rotate inwards. And again, relax. Try it a few times. So I know people's hips don't always, they're not happy places, are they? So again, I'm not asking you to crunch into anything. You're going just into a place that feels comfortable and, you know, I would say nurturing, therapeutic, loving. Please don't, crunch into anything that doesn't feel right. And then relax that left leg and then awareness to that little toe side of the foot. So we're going to press again that little toe towards the floor. So you're feeling the outside edge of the foot. And again, relax the leg to center and just do it again, taking that little toe side of the foot to the floor and again, relax it. Do it a few times, get that sense of, I feel this in the hip again, noticing those muscles. I can feel the muscle of the buttocks drawing in and releasing, drawing in and releasing. What I can also feel is as I bring that little toe side of the foot, the heel wants to glide up. So now I've kind of rotated that toe out. I'm going to slide the left heel up towards my groin, let the knee go out nice and wide. So if it comes up, that's too much effort. And then again, slide the foot out in front of you. Just relax. Just think about almost releasing from your tummy outwards. So again, drop that little toe side of the foot into the floor, sliding the foot up. And slowly extending the leg out. So just feel yourself releasing from center. Keep the knee, just as you're doing it, just let the knee go out nice and wide. Keep the foot on the floor, slide the foot away. And it's just when you get to the end of that movement, just feel the thigh bone rotating in the joint. Knee kind of begins to point more towards the ceiling. And again, one more time, start by bringing that little toe side the foot to the floor, keep the foot on the floor, slide the knee and the foot up towards the groin, knee goes wide. And again, slowly, slowly extend the leg and just let the leg relax. So now we're working the opposite direction. We're going to keep that left foot in our awareness and we turn the left big toe into the floor. So feel that knee rotate inwards and it's a wide movement. So start to slide that left foot out towards your left hand, maybe down by your side. Let the knee rotate inwards. So again, if you notice that the knee's crossed over the right, just see if you can push it out a bit so it falls into that space between the legs. And then again, slowly unwind and let the leg relax. You're going to maybe feel your head turn towards the ceiling. And then again, turn the foot inwards, sliding that left foot out towards your left hand, knee drops in towards the floor. Notice yourself maybe turning very naturally your head towards that left shoulder. And notice how your left hip will float off the floor a little bit. Your right side feels lengthened. And then again, unwind, slide the foot away, and again, slowly release. Do it a couple of times again at leisure. The left big toe slides in, the foot goes out nice and wide. Again, looking towards the sole of the foot. And again, releasing. Turning your head, relax at the end of each movement. Notice where your left knee is now. Does it feel there's a little bit closer to the floor? I can notice it's your left knee that is, not your left knee, but when you bring the knee in, there's a little bit less distance between the knee and the floor. And then when you're ready again, unpick and release. So we're going to go in that alternate way. So in your own time, press the left little toe towards the floor, bring the heel up towards the groin, let that knee drop out wide, and again, gently press the foot away, let the leg release along the floor, straighten the leg, and then bring the big toe in, feel the knee turn in, slide the foot wide, turning your head again towards the left foot. Straightening the leg, again keep the foot on the floor and let your head turn back towards the front, towards the sky, towards the ceiling. Right and left little toe comes in, glide the heel up. And again, slide the foot out in front. Left big toe comes in, slide the foot wide, let the knee drop in towards the floor. And as it's a drop in, don't press it, let it go there of its own accord. Straighten the leg. Heel glides up. Straighten the leg. Big toe rotates in. Draw the heel up, let the knee drop in. And again, let's just do one more for good luck. Little toe side, bring the heel up. Straighten the leg. Big toe side, pull the heel wide. Turning the head. And unwind. Just let everything go at the end of this movement. Just feel the hips on the floor, feel the thighs on the floor, feel the feet on the floor, and just let everything go. So bring your feet so they're just out in front of you, and bring both heels together. And turn, and yeah, we're going to bring both heels together. So if you think about if you ever did the breaststroke, your knees go wide, don't they, and your feet come up a little bit towards your groin. I mean, they never do. I think we've been incredible to us. We've got those heels to the groin. So let your knee, we're going to start to bring the soles of the feet together, pulling the heels up to the groin, and let both knees widen out, and just take it to a place that is comfortable. And then from here, press your lower back into the floor, and then push your feet forward. Feel those feet sliding out in front of you. And at the end of the movement, again, relax, let everything go. And then again, find the big toes, find the little toes, bring the heels together. Sliding your heels in towards your groin. Notice how your tailbone finds the floor, and again, we arch the spine. It's a natural, it just happens naturally. So we're going to press then the lower back into the floor. Feel the heels sliding forwards, and again, straighten the legs. Just let everything relax. Heels come together, big toes slide together, again, pulling the heels in towards the groin, knees go wide. And then again, flatten the back, pushing the legs away, let the legs straighten, and again, let everything go. Just doing that 2 more times. So in your own way, come up. So again, don't push into pain, don't push into extreme movement. It could even be that you're just going to explore just the beginning of it. But again, even if you come up just a little bit, to come out of it, press the lower back into the floor. Feel as you press the lower back into the floor, the legs want to come forwards and straighten. In fact, let's just do one little kind of adaptation of this. Roll the tailbone to the floor, and as you do that, then pull the heels in. And then press the lower back into the floor and let the feet push forwards. Ooh, that feels lovely. Roll the tailbone to the floor, pull the heels in. Press the lower back into the floor, let the feet slide forwards. Roll the tailbone, bring the heels in. Press the lower back, push the feet forwards. And I'll just do that 1 more time. Roll the tailbone, pull the heels in, and then press the lower back into the floor and push the feet forwards. Just let everything go. So from this place, you're meant to then kind of come into some little twists. So it's instructed like as though you're doing the slalom, and I've never done the slalom in my life because I can't ski. But we've just done individually that outward movement where the foot came outwards. So keep your feet together, and then turn, and we're going to try to bring the feet over to the right. So start and think about, as you're bringing the feet over to the right, keeping your knees roughly underneath your hips. So it's easy to bring your feet to the right if you bring your knees to the left, but I want you to try to, it's not going to be perfect. Keep the knees relatively under your hips. So start to bring both heels to the right, trying to keep your knees relatively under your hips. Again, go to where it feels good. Let your right pelvis come up off the floor. And again, let your head maybe turn towards your right shoulder. And then straighten your legs. Bring those legs out in front of you. Let your right hip find the floor. And just pause for a second. And then we're going to take the both feet over to the left. And again, we're trying to keep those knees relatively under the pelvis. So keep the feet together, start to bring them to the left, and again have that awareness of the knees being relatively under the pelvis. Let your left pelvis roll up, turning your head towards your left shoulder. And then again, if it feels comfortable, well, it will be comfortable, straighten the legs, and again, relax. And again, just let everything settle. We're doing this 2 more times, so we're just going to take those feet over to the right, keeping the knees together roughly, and again, relatively under the pelvis. Turn your head to look towards the right shoulder. And again, straightening the legs out in front. Relax and pause, and then taking both feet over to the left. Knees relatively under the pelvis. Again, let your pelvis roll. Again, straighten up. Over to the right, turning your head. Straightening the legs. And over to the left, turning your head. And again, going back to centre. Just let everything go. You can please know that that's the end of that. Just let your hips settle into the floor. Let everything go. So let's do one more little movement, then we're going to come into more relaxy stuff again. I mean, I find that incredibly relaxing, but there's lots of instruction. So begin to walk your feet in again, so they're just in front of your hips, and you've got your knees standing up. You've got your feet resting on the floor, and your arms are down by your side. And let's float our right hip off the floor. So I want you to keep that left side on the floor. Keep your knees standing up, and then let your right hip find the floor. And just do it again a few times. Float your right hip off the floor, and then relax back down. And again, with this one, this is one where I often think, let's not go into pain. So take your time with this one. If you notice you're a little bit uneven, you might feel some ouches, don't go into the pain. So notice where it's going to be nice to back off. So I'm a little bit tense on my left side, so I'm going to just not go all the way into that movement. I'm just going a little bit into it, so the right hip's coming just a little off the floor. I'm just getting used to that movement of just floating the right hip off the floor and just feeling that right knee just kind of moving forwards and feeling the foot on the floor pressing into the floor. And then I'm just going to explore going that little bit deeper. There you go, that's a little bit easier to do. So I'm just going that little bit deeper, and that pain I was feeling before has actually erased itself. It's a little bit easier to do. So I'm just floating that right hip a little bit more. So what I'd like us now to do is keep the right hip floated off the floor, and then your right shoulder, think about it on the floor, squeeze it in towards the spine. Turn your head towards the right shoulder, and then pull the right shoulder down the back a little bit. And you're going to feel yourself, that left side arches a little bit, all the way into the neck. And then relax, let everything go. Let the shoulder come back to neutral, let the hip find the floor, and again, just rest, keeping both knees bent and facing the ceiling. So again, we're just going to float the right hip up off the floor. Pull the right shoulder in towards the spine and down the back. And again, let your head turn towards that right side. And then undo, release everything. Let the hip find the floor, come back to the center. One more time, right hip floats off the floor. Right shoulder squeezes in, slides down the back, and that again arches the spine to the right. Left side becomes lengthened. And then again, slowly unpick, coming back to center. Do that one more time. So again, right hip floats up. Squeeze the right shoulder in and down. So just feel yourself arcing towards that right shoulder, and again, slowly unpick, keeping the knees standing as well as you can. So if you notice your knees are moving to the opposite side, try to keep them standing up. Just notice a few knees kind of going over a little bit. Okay, so we've got one more instruction on this side. So again, float your right hip up, bring that right shoulder in and down, and then your right knee, press it on the inside edge of your left knee. So it might not be there, but press that right knee into the left. Hold, and then relax. Let everything go. Just let every cell settle into the floor again. So this is all about releasing that quadratus lumborum muscle at the back of the body. So its purpose is to take us from side to side. It helps us with our walking patterns as well. So hopefully at the end of this we have a really happy walk. So again, when you're ready, float the right hip up. Draw the right shoulder in and down. Feel yourself turning your head to the right. And then squeeze your right knee onto your left knee. Then let go. Let everything soften. One more time. Right hip, right shoulder, right knee squeeze. Release everything, let everything settle into the floor, and just maybe it might be nice again at this point just to let the legs straighten out in front of you. Just feel the ground behind you. So let's do the left side. So again, standing both feet up. And again, just think about taking your left hip off the floor. And again, noticing if your knees are going over to the right, so trying to keep them standing up. So you float the left hip up. And if you're going to keep these knees standing, it's actually your left knee is going to kind of go forwards a little bit. Just notice, get that left knee to go forwards a little bit. Think about, again, notice that pelvis. Notice it again if you've got any aches and pains, particularly through that right side into the sacrum. And again, we don't go into that pain, we just back off. We don't go to the full movement. So if you notice that, just go a little bit gentler. Don't go all the way into it. And just take your time just to familiarise yourself with that movement. And then whenever you're ready, just again, maybe if you have noticed there was some pain, just explore going that deeper movement. Does it feel a little bit easier to do? And then what we're going to do next is add in the next bit. So float the left hip up, draw the left shoulder in towards the spine and down the back. And again, notice how this allows you to turn to look towards your left shoulder. And then from here, relax, let everything settle in the floor. Your head's hopefully turning back towards the ceiling, let it happen. So again, we float the left hip up, draw the left shoulder down, squeeze it in. Notice how you begin to turn your head to the left. So we're arcing to the left, right side to lengthen. Feel that the ribs on that left side have squeezed in towards the pelvis. Release, feel that the left side beginning to lengthen, settle into the floor. Left hip floats up, left shoulder draws down and in, head turns. Hold, feel, and then slowly release, let go. So let's add in the little knee squeeze, shall we now? So again, left hip floats up, shoulder squeezes in and down, and then drop the left knee towards the right, squeeze, feel, and then let go, let everything go. Just feel yourself spreading out into the floor. Left hip floats up, left shoulder draws in and down, feel the head roll, press the knees together. Slowly uncurl. Have we done 3 or 4? I can't remember. Anyway, let's leave it on that side. So we're going to come back to that right side now. So let's again start with that right movement. We're going to try to do everything we've just done, but at the same time. It's an odd one. So what we had the right hip floating up, the right shoulder in and down, and the knee squeeze as one movement. Can we do it? It might not happen. It doesn't always for me. So 1, 2, 3. And then let go. And then see how you feel again about doing it a couple more times. So it's the hip, the shoulder in and down, knee squeeze. I'm not going to say 1, 2, 3. It sounds like a challenge, but in your own time. Unwind. Just maybe one more time. And then let go. We're just going to do exactly the same thing on that left side. So again, it's the hip, shoulder in and down, knee squeeze in your own time. You have to brace yourself for it, don't you, I think? And let go. Just I like the unwinding. I really like the unpicking of that one. Let everything go. We're going to just do one more instruction, and I really love this one. So float your right hip up. Draw your right shoulder in and down. And then now we're in this position, float your left hip up. Drop your right hip towards the floor. Bring it to the floor. And then rolling across the back of your pelvis, bring the left hip down. Feel yourself spreading into the floor. And then repeat, bring your right hip up. Squeeze your right shoulder in and down. And then now in this position, float the left hip up. Turn your pelvis, drop your right hip to the floor. So you're going to feel that left side lengthen. And then roll your pelvis into the floor. Let the pelvis find the floor. Right hip comes up. Left hip comes up. Drop the right hip. Slowly relax yourself into the floor. So let's just do the opposite side. So again, bring your left hip up this time. And again, draw the shoulder down, squeeze. Bring the right hip up. Drop your left hip to the floor. Take your time. Oh, I felt a beautiful pop then. And release your back into the floor. Left hip floats up. Shoulder comes down. Bring the right hip up. Turn the left hip towards the floor. And again, slowly roll yourself back into submission on the floor. Final one. Left hip comes up. Right hip comes up. Left hip comes down. Slowly unpick and just extend your legs out into the floor in front of you. Take your time to breathe. Take your time to release. Wow. Again, lots of instruction, but really, really valuable movement. Hopefully you're going to have an absolutely happy, beautiful back at the end of this lesson. Wow. So shall we end with the other request that you had today, which was the unpicking of the hips? So well, my hips feel lovely right now. So we're going to roll over onto one side, shall we? So I'm going to roll over onto my right side. And yeah, knees are together, feet together, and then hands go behind your head, and then you lay on your side, and your hands at your elbows are just nicely rested on the side of the body. We're not doing any twists, but I think this is a really it's a very organic twist. It just happens of its own accord. So we've done quite a lot of leg sliding today. We should feel really adept at sliding the leg. So just for a second, just slide your left leg away from you and bring it in. And the reason I'm saying this is I actually taught this to human people in a gym yesterday, and there were a lot of people picking a leg up, and I'm like, I want you to be way lazier than that. So just have the foot on the floor and slide it. Just take your time just to get used to sliding your left foot away from you. Get it to slide, and take your time to slide it. And then just rest your knees together and pause and just think about doing nothing other than being guided by your left leg for the time being. So your left leg, the one on top. So we're going to just begin to slide that left leg onto the floor, just kind of behind you a little bit. So start to slide it out. I won't say as far as you can go, but start to slide it out behind you. And notice as you do that your pelvis will want to roll back. So start to let it roll back. Start to let your chest roll back and your head roll back, and your left elbow is going to roll back, and just sit onto the floor and notice that your right knee is turned out a little bit, and then slide it away. Relax that right leg out in front of you. And then when you're ready, we're going to go back onto that right side. So we do that by turning both feet to the right, keeping your heels on the floor. Try to bring both knees, bend both knees to the right. So as you bend both knees to the right, your pelvis will roll again onto its side, and you'll roll back onto your side. And again, close your arms around your head and just rest. And then do it again. Slide in the left foot out behind. Feel your pelvis wanting to roll back. So don't fight it. Roll it back. Let yourself roll onto your back. Let your head relax. Let your elbows relax. My right leg just straightens of its own accord. Pause like a little star on the floor. And then turning both feet to the right. Sliding both knees to the right. Get your feet on the floor. Feel yourself rolling onto your right side. And again, pause. And again, sliding out, you're doing it nicely now. So that's it, slide that foot back. Just feel your pelvis rolling back. That's it, let your right leg begin to straighten on that floor on its own accord. And then to come back up again, you bring both knees over to the right. That's it, let the feet slide together. Let's start with, oh, you've stopped. Are you confused? So slide your right foot, your left foot back. Let your pelvis roll back as you do it. That's it. And then my right leg just wants to straighten. It just wants to straighten. And then to come back, I turn both feet to the right, and I'm sliding both knees to the right. And then the pelvis starts to roll back onto its side. And again, I'm pausing here. And again, that movement is from the left foot, the left leg. The left foot is thinking what's over there, and it's straightening. And I'm finding that, again, I'm rolling back. And again, I'm coming back up onto that side. So both feet are going to turn to the right, both knees are going to turn to the right. And again, that is pulling the pelvis that way. I'm staring at you, you know that. Are you not wanting to do it? You're just not feeling very good. Okay. So whenever you're ready, again, just settle onto your back. And do you think it'd be better going the opposite way? Okay, we'll go the opposite way. It might feel nice the opposite way. So yeah, it's beneficial. So rolling onto your back. So let's try to get that opposite way. So I'm going to now face in the opposite direction, so I can keep beady eyeing you. And then turn both feet to the left and feel again. You're going to bring both knees over to the left. That is going to start to roll the pelvis. So as you bring your right knee over onto your left knee, feel your pelvis rolling onto its side. And again, let your arms close. And then slide your right foot again out and back, feeling how, as you do that, your pelvis begins to roll back. The left leg might want to straighten again, settle onto your back. And again, if it feels good, turning both feet to the left, and it's like you're going to bring your left knee out to the left and bring your right knee over onto the left knee. Feel how your pelvis rolls. You roll over onto your side. And again, straightening the leg out behind, feel your pelvis rolling back, again, settle down. So I think we've worked out that it doesn't suit each side. So if you want to go the other way, you turn both feet in the direction you want to go, bring both knees in the direction you want to roll, and allow that movement to flow through the bones. And then you start again with that top leg, straighten it back. Feel yourself unwinding. And again, if you want to go the opposite way, turn the knees and the feet in the direction you want to go. Bring in the knees in the direction you want to go. And again, roll over that way. So it might be you're only going to do one side. I can see a complete adaptation. It's not worked for you, has it, that one at all? Sorry. I think of something that you might want to do then. So while everybody else is having a lovely little roll around, keep your head on the floor as well. If you're lifting your head up, be a little bit more relaxed in that as well. So I can see one head lifting, keep your head relaxed into those hands, and it's going to be a lot nicer on your neck. So I don't want to name names, but the lady who's finding it, oh no, there's one. Sorry, continue. There's one lady who's not getting along with it. I was just going to suggest something else. So if you're happy doing that movement, then stay with the movement. But so just I was just going to come back to a movement. So I know that one lady's not been finding this very, very pleasant to do so, which was just to straighten again one leg, to have one leg bent, and to come back to the movement where we started, which was to press into a foot and feel the pelvis tilting to one side. So again, if that movement isn't suiting you, this might be a nice alternative. So just to press into one foot and feel the pelvis roll to the side. If you're happy with that lovely roly-poly movement, keep on going with it. And then when you're ready, shall we have a little rest? So I'm just switching sides just so I'm nice and even. So let's find ourselves settling into the floor. So sliding out your feet in front of you, let your arms rest down by your side, and just check in on your body, your imprint on the floor. And shine a little spotlight on the back of the skull, down through the nape of the neck, into the ribs, into the lower back, down into the pelvis. Noticing the legs, noticing the arms, notice your breath. So let's spend a little bit of time with our breath, shall we? So as you're breathing, become more aware of what your belly's doing. Notice how we use it as we breathe. Would it be nice to let it be a little bit more relaxed? Would it be nice to let it swell a little bit more? Let it take in lots of air. I know the belly doesn't do that, that's got all your digestive organs. So what you're feeling again is that diaphragm dropping down into that void of the tummy, and it pushes outwards. And as you're breathing out, the diaphragm's moving back up into the ribs, and this is why the belly goes back in. So just connect with that movement. Permit your belly to rise with your inhale and to draw softly back with your exhale. And maybe add a little more, I would say emphasis is not quite the right word, but a little tiny bit more effort on your exhale. Think about your belly button drawing all the way back towards your spine and emptying the lungs. And then release it and let it fill with breath. And then draw it all the way back towards the spine. Again, breathing in, let it swell. And breathe out, let it come all the way back towards the spine. Take a moment just to rest, and again keep your awareness in your tummy, and all I'd like to do is to make a sound, and that sound is a long and audible R sound, and you don't have to do it, but you're in your own house and people might walk past and know what you're doing. But what I love about this sound is number one, it empties the lungs completely, and it's a vibration that can really help with this lower half of the body, I think. in letting go of tension. So whenever you're ready, you don't have to do it, but I'm going to do it. You take an inhale. Letting the navel come all the way in. Hold then the navel and take an inhale and an exhale, let go of it. And just for a moment, notice how it feels in your tummy. And then draw the navel gently in. Squeeze, if you can, your pelvic floor a little bit, and we're just going to breathe a little bit more with the awareness in the chest. So just notice all the movements you feel in your chest. Broadening, shrinking. And then let go of the tummy, let go of the pelvic floor. And take a full inhale and exhale. And the next sound I'd like to make is an ooh sound. Long, audible ooh in that same kind of vein. And again, this is meant for you. I do feel this one in my chest quite well. So again, vibration to release tensions in the chest. So taking an inhale. As you take your next in breath and out breath, just feel again how it is to breathe. Notice your energy, where you can feel your breath even in your torso. And the next breath we're going to do is going to be a full in-breath, taking your inhale into your belly and into your chest. So just take your time to breathe in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. And then the next time you release your breath, think about another sound we can make. And this time our focus and our emphasis is on the space above your shoulders and into your face. And the sound we make is a really long sound. So hopefully if you join in, you get to feel the vibration. But if not, hopefully you can feel the vibrations from me, because I'm magical and I'm not. Take an inhale. Just take now again time to notice your breath. Notice where it's felt. So come again back to your natural and full in-breath. Just take your time again to breathe in and turn the breath around, and again take your time to breathe out and turn the breath around. So the final sound unites all of those things. It's a full-on on sound. So if you want to do that, join in. On. Take an inhale. Do it 2 more times and allow that vibration to pass up the self. let the sounds fall away, and again, let your awareness just move into the breath and all the sensations you feel in the body. So find some nice ways to move towards moving again. So you might want to bring your knees in. It's sometimes nice, I actually really like at the end of these movements, these end of these classes, is to come back to that very first movement, bringing your feet into the floor and rolling your tailbone and pressing a little back and just checking how it is to move. It often, well for me, it always feels like a little bit happier about things. And maybe to roll your tail, your hips from side to side, and again, just checking in on the sensations that you feel through your pelvis and through your lower back. Maybe you can roll and have a bit of a circle of the pelvis, and again have a check in on that and how that feels as a movement. And then shall we move to seated? I'm going to pause recording so I can have a little chat. So, eek.